18 WJTS News, I'm Charlotte Olson. During a Republican Party caucus held Monday night at Perry Central High School in Leopold, members of the Indiana Republican Party, consisting of committee women and men, selected Stephen Bartles to fulfill the Indiana District 74 seat, which was vacated by Lloyd Arnold. Bartles was one of 6 Republicans who filed for the vacancy, and others included Perry County School Superintendent Mary Robertson, John Bowen, Zachary Brown, Richard Lee, and Ron Smith. Arnold had served as the district's state representative since he was first elected to the office in 2012. He was recently appointed to the position of Director of Law Enforcement with the Indiana Department of Natural Resources. He resigned on October the 22nd, and the next regular election for the seat will be held during the November 6, 2018 midterm elections. But under state law, a party caucus may replace the outgoing incumbent with another appointee of the same party. Bartles will serve out the remainder of Arnold's 2-year term, which will conclude at the end of 2018. Bartles says that he plans to run for a full 2-year term in the next election. The Indiana House District 74 consists of all or portions of Crawford, DuBois, Orange, Perry, and Spencer. The caucus was presided over by Indiana Republican Party State Chairman Kyle Huffner. Each candidate was recognized in alphabetical order and given 2 minutes for someone to speak on their behalf as a way of an introduction. It was followed by a 3-minute speech by the candidate themselves. Bartles was chosen by secret ballot, tallied by tellers designated by the state chairman. Now, just a week earlier, the same type of caucus was held here in Jasper at the Jasper City Hall for the then open District 63 seat formerly held by Mike Braun. That caucus selected former DuBois County Councilman Shane Lindauer to fill the seat vacated by Braun, who announced his plans to resign from his seat last October the 20th, effective November the 1st, in order for him to focus on his campaign for the Republican nomination for the United States Senate. The Jasper Police Department is asking for the public's help as they investigate a hit-and-run incident that took place Tuesday morning near the Y. Around 8:45 yesterday morning, 57-year-old Annette Potts of Lagodi told police that while making a right-hand turn on 6th Street near the Dairy Queen, her crossover SUV was struck on the rear passenger side by an unknown tan vehicle, and then left the scene and headed westbound on 6th Street. Officers with the Jasper Police Department are asking that anyone who may have witnessed the crash to contact them at 812-482-2255 or to call the department's anonymous tip line at 812-481-COPS. Springs Valley Bank and Trust Corporation, parent company of Springs Valley Bank and Trust Company, has declared a dividend of 87 cents per share to all shareholders of record of November the 14th, 2017, payable on or about on December the 15th. This is a 13.33% increase over the annual dividend paid in December of 2016. The corporation recorded unaudited year-to-date earnings over $2.6 million, which is an increase of more than 11% over the same period in 2016. The corporation reported strong total loan growth, which has increased to $285.1 million as of September 30th, 2017, from the $273.1 million as of December 31st, 2016. This is resulting in an increase in net interest income before provision expenses to $9.1 million through September the 30th, compared to $8.7 million throughout the same period in 2016. A 3.96% increase, the corporation's year-to-date income translates to basic earnings per share of $4.62 compared to $4.07, a year-over-year increase of 13.5%. In a release, President and CEO Jimmy Shanebarger says that 2017 operating results delivered through the third quarter, and Springs Valley Bank and Trust Corporation is on pace to record the best 6 consecutive years in the company's 115-year history. A hurricane relief benefit is planned for Will Reed and Sing for Food, with the proceeds from the group's 121st show going directly to the family of reggae musician and frequent Will Reed and Sing for Food guest Zion, whose home was greatly damaged in the Virgin Islands by Hurricane Irma and Maria, both of which were Category 5 storms. The fundraising event will take place this Thursday, November the 9th at Hedinger Beverage Distributing at 950 St. Charles Street in Jasper, beginning at 7 p.m. Joining Zion and Scott Solomon will be the Cold Stairs, Chris Tapp, Selena Fisher, Megan Gatwood, Dr. Isaac Gatwood, Sean Needman, Mark Stezik, and humor writer Stan Levko. Admission is $10 or more donation to the cause, and doors open at 6:30 p.m. Free beverages and snacks will be provided. The DuBois County Business and Veterans Organization will be hosting meals on Thursday as we begin to observe our Veterans Day. First, the Becker Funeral Home in Ferdinand is hosting a Veterans Breakfast tomorrow morning from 7 to 10:30 a.m. at the Ferdinand American Legion for all local veterans and a guest. Then later, the American Legion Post 147 in Jasper will host a Veterans Day dinner between 4 and 6 tomorrow at the Post Home located at the corner of 13 and Newton. The dinner will consist of seasoned Greek northern beans, fried potatoes, and cornbread, plus desserts. Water, coffee, and iced tea will also be provided, and all other drinks must be purchased. The dinner is open to all local veterans and their guests, regardless of membership. Those planning to attend are asked to use the front entrance along Newton Street if appropriate. There is also a handicap-friendly entrance along 13th Street on the north side of the building. For further information, contact Don Lawson at 812-661-2440. The French Lick Resort will host the American Veterans Traveling Tribute and Traveling Vietnam Wall this weekend. A brigade of nearly 150 motorcyclists escorted the traveling memorial to French Lick Resort this afternoon, and it will be displayed on the front lawn of the French Lick Casino from Thursday through Sunday. The memorial is the largest scale model of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall in Washington, D.C., and the model is 8 feet tall and 360 feet long and features names of more than 58,000 American servicemen and women who lost their lives in the Vietnam War. The traveling memorial has been moving throughout the United States since 1998 as a way to honor and remember veterans and active military personnel. During its time in French Lick, the memorial will be open for 24 hours a day, starting around noon tomorrow and ending at 3 p.m. on Sunday. Admission is free, and search stations will be available to help you search for specific names, and rubbing paper will be provided to etch names from the wall. Former wrestler and WWE Hall of Famer and now author Mick Foley paid a visit Tuesday to the Santa Claus Museum and Village as part of his book signing tour to sign and speak about his new book. Zach Gruber here with the department was there and has the story.
He lost an ear in Germany, was named King of the Death Match in Japan, and became a household name as Mankind in the United States. But now, since WWE Hall of Famer and New York Times bestselling author Mick Foley has brought his hardcore professional wrestling career to a close, he has found a new passion, entertaining families across the country as jolly old St. Mick. Foley made a stop on his book signing tour at the Santa Claus Museum and Village to sign and speak about his new book, which is his 5th memoir, St. Mick, My Journey from Hardcore Legend to Santa's Jolly Elf. In his book, Mick speaks about how the iconic character of Santa Claus means so much to him, and how being able to become Santa came along at a time where a lifetime of injuries prevented him from doing something he loved, which was wrestling. Now Santa Claus fills that void and brings forth joy to Foley, his family, and the people he encounters. Mick describes the book as finding the best of oneself in unusual places.
The new book, St. Mick, is and it's about my, at that point, 5-year journey as an ambassador, wearing the red suit. And I think on that's on a personal level. On a larger level, I think it's about finding the best of oneself in unusual places. So, like a lot of people who have a calling or feel a calling to put on their red suit, you find like the best part of yourself emerging in that portrayal.
Foley happens to find the best in himself as he becomes the legendary Santa Claus and brings joy to families all across the country. He says it amazes him that as he travels across the country, fans that were born 10 years after he retired from wrestling still recognize him. Mick says seeing the Christmas joy in a child's eyes gives him the same feeling he felt when he would wrestle in front of thousands of screaming fans.
When you see the magic in the, reflected in the eyes of a child, I'm not exaggerating when I tell you that 2 or 3 children in a living room or a hospital room can be every bit as great an audience as 17,000 at Madison Square Garden. Yeah, it's really a tremendous feeling to be able to spread that kind of joy.
Foley visits Santa Claus, Indiana quite often, seemingly making yearly visits to the special southern Indiana town, whether it be for a comedy tour, a book signing, or to visit Holiday World. Foley visited the town 2 times during the time he was writing his book to be in a place that embodies Christmas spirit and says it's one of his favorite places on earth to visit. This time around, Mick, along with other of Santa's elves, helped answer letters to Santa. In recent years, the elves have responded to an average of 20,000 letters annually sent by children living all over the world. Mick loved his time answering letters to Santa, saying he spent months perfecting his Santa penmanship and showed respect to the volunteers that answer year-round.
The people here, Santa's elves, answered 20,000 letters last year. I spent almost 2 hours and I got through 7 of them. So it gives you a real great respect for what Santa's elves do and how they put smiles on so many faces. Because I know as a fact, as a guy whose letter is hanging in the Santa Claus Museum, how important those letters are to me, and that the letters I receive back from Santa Claus are in scrapbooks. I'm 52 years old and I keep those scrapbooks, those letters from 1968 and 1969, and they're every bit as important to me now as they were then. So it's nice to know that something we're working on now might be in someone else's scrapbook in the year, some mathematician out there that'll be 47 years from now, 2064, yeah.
Foley is donating a portion of his book sale proceeds to Santa's Elves Incorporated, a group of dedicated volunteers who have been helping Santa answer letters for over 100 years. The elves are headquartered at the Santa Claus Museum and Village in Santa Claus. The Santa Claus Museum and Village is dedicated to the preservation and interpretation of the history of Santa Claus and perpetuates the tradition of Santa's Elves Incorporated by answering letters to Santa. So what's next for jolly old St. Mick? He's preparing to suit up and make this Christmas season better than the last. Reporting for the news, I'm Zach Ruber. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Zach. And make sure you keep it right here, because up next we're going to take a look at your weather summary.